So welcome home, and welcome home to yourself this evening. Coming home to the ground of being, to the state of awareness which is Yoga Nidra. Settling into the resting time of the day and allowing the breath to carry the awareness all the way down into the earth that supports the physical body. Welcome home into your true nature. You have arrived. And there is nothing that needs to be done. Just to be here is enough. There's no need even to pay any attention to the words that are being spoken, simply to have a soft connection to the sound of the voice that speaks the words. That's more than enough. Simply to hear that there are words is enough. And to settle into that space of welcoming all that can be heard in the spaces around the body, and to feel how it is to be at the center of a great sphere of sound, a specially created soundscape in which every sound is welcomed as a sign back home to the space of awareness which is Yoga Nidra. And in that space, hearing sounds very close and hearing sounds a little more distant, at the center of the sphere, at the edges of the sphere, all the way out, all the way in, welcoming every sound into the space of awareness which is Yoga Nidra. And at the center of this soundscape, resting the attention at the end of the exhalation deep into the space of the heart, into the serene and intuitive space of the heart, all the way down behind the back of the inside of the center of the middle of the breastbone, coming home into the deep heart's core. And just being there is more than enough. Making a space in that place for the awareness to settle. And to welcome into that place whatever intuitive guidance or insight may arise, and to know that there is space for such intuitive arisings in the space of the heart, and simply to be in that space is enough. And from that space now, set the awareness free to travel through the land of the body and to welcome each part with a little shining light, as if the temple of the body could be illumined by the little flames of the lights offered into every part of the temple, till the whole temple is illumined with a warm and beautiful light of many, many tiny little flames, beginning by placing these little lights of conscious awareness with devotion and love around the temple of the body, letting there be light shining between the two eyebrows and in the center of the head, in the center of the throat, between the two collarbones, resting the awareness to illumine the right shoulder, the elbow and the wrist, letting the bright flame shine at the tip of the right hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger and little finger, and in to the palm of the right hand, inside the right wrist and elbow and shoulder, and back to the space between the two collarbones, as if a beautiful little light shone there, and then over to the left shoulder, elbow, wrist, tip of the left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. In the palm of the left hand, back inside the left wrist, inside the left elbow and shoulder, and back to the space between the two collarbones, as if the head and both the arms were beautifully illumined by the flickering lights in the temple of the body. And then let those lights shine with love and brightness in the space behind the back of the center of the breastbone, in behind the left breast, in behind the center of the breastbone, in behind the right breast, in behind the center of the breastbone, and on down through at the navel, in the center of the belly, and in the center of the pelvis, a gentle warming light shining, and down through the right hip, knee, ankle, into the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Inside the right ankle, knee and hip. Back over to shine the light within the center of the pelvis. And then another over at the left hip, knee, ankle, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Inside the left ankle, knee and hip. Back in. The center of the pelvis, as if the whole of the pelvis and both legs and feet were beautifully illumined by the flickering lights in the temple of the body. Returning to the light that shines in the center of the belly, and returning to the light that shines in the center of the chest at the heart space. And from that light up to the light in the throat, the light in the center of the head at the level of the space between the two eyebrows, and onto the crown of the head. And in the space of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra, let the temple of the body rest, illumined by the gentle and beautiful light that shines in every place. Carry the awareness through and down to the center of the head, through and down into the center of the throat, and then coming home to the deep heart's core, as if the light that shines behind the back of the center of the breastbone shines deep and bright in the heart's core, in the space of the heart. Come home to yourself in the sanctuary of the temple of the body. And in that space of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra, every time the breath leaves, gather the awareness inside to the space of the heart and the spaces inside the temple of the body. Each exhale, come home to this inside space. And each breath that comes in, let the awareness travel to the spaces outside the body, around the temple of the body. Breathing into the spaces which are outside, breathing out to the spaces which are inside, breathing from the interior space, exhaling into the interior space, and then inhaling to the exterior space, outside, inside, inside, outside, outside, inside, inside, outside. Breathing between these two forms of awareness with every circle of breath. And then invite into witness consciousness, into the space of pure awareness, which is Yoga Nidra. Invite the possibility of the awareness being in both of those places at the same time, inside and outside, simultaneously. Where would that be? Outside and inside. In the temple, around the temple, outside the temple, inside the temple, all the way through. where would that be? And then letting go of that awareness. Letting go of that awareness and simply returning to consciousness of the breath coming and going. Feeling the breath entering and feeling the breath leaving. And letting the exhale carry the attention all the way down into the back of the center of the middle of the breastbone, right in back to the deep heart score, and simply resting there. Just to be there is more than enough. To be listening in the space of the heart. To hear in the deep heart's core the heart song, the call of the heart, and being in that space, feeling how it might be to say yes. And welcoming what's heard in the space of the heart, and holding a space in that place for whatever intuitive guidance may arise. Simply to be in that space is more than enough. Setting the awareness free. Setting the awareness free to travel to wherever in the body may be calling for attention. Let the awareness travel to those places, to that place, or let the awareness simply remain in the space of the heart, whichever most naturally arises. And breathing as if the whole body now were breathing. The whole body breathing. Resting in the space of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra. And allowing now for the breath to become a little louder and a little louder, as if the call of the heart could be heard on the breath. And every breath now would fully illumine and awaken the entire temple of the body, as if you could breathe the brightness of light and breath and movement into every little corner of the temple, revived and refreshed, and gently stirring with every breath as the practice moves towards a close, with each breath feeling into the spaces in between the fingers, feeling into the spaces in between the toes, and taking a great big leisurely breath. Knowing that the practice is coming to a close, and simply letting the awareness settle back into a more everyday state of consciousness, but bringing with it the expansion and illumination of the Nidra practice. Gently awakening with a louder breath and a sigh. This practice of Yoga Nidra is now coming to a close. This practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Thank you. Breathe freely and deeply.